This is a video about Yael, her relationship to Meroz, and then I will offer a possible clue in Gematria with the word for the cainites. So this is Judges chapter 5. We're picking it up in verse 6 here. So this chapter comes right after the chapter which details the incident with Yael and Sisera. And we looked at the use of the word hashkeni by Sisera to Yael and noticed that it has the word cainite in it. So cainite, it has the word for cainite inside of the word. So here we're picking it up in the next chapter, chapter 5, verse 6. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Anat, in the days of Yael, caravans ceased and travelers walked on crooked paths. Just want to show you something quickly. Shamgar here is similar to Gershom, except for the syllables are reversed. I'm only pointing that out because Gershom is Moses' son, and his mother was a Kenite Ziphrah. So this teaches us that Yael also judged Israel in her days. We're going down to verse 20 now. From heaven they fought, the stars from their courses fought against Sisera. So here's where some of this spacey, heavenly language comes in. From heaven they fought, the stars from their courses fought against Sisera. So they sought no gain. Likewise the Holy One sent against them his host, who do not desire any reward. From their courses, the tip of the star being in heaven, and its edge upon the earth. So this is some of the, if you read this rashi, and in the sources, there's a theory that it could be Meroz could be somewhere in space, or the space between heaven and earth. The brook Kishon swept them away, that ancient brook, the brook Kishon, tread down, O my soul, their strength. Then were pounded the heels of the horses by reason of their prancings, the prancings of the mighty ones. I'm just going to show you something interesting in the Hebrew here. We saw earlier in another video about Jabez and the Kenites and how the Kenite is the same gematria as Jabez. Here we see, and the first match for that was heel. So, and then if you add the extra yud, so it becomes heels, but also if you add the yud over here, it becomes Yaakov. So Jacob. And then we see, curse you, Meroz, said the messenger of the Lord. Curse you bitterly, you inhabitants thereof, because they came not to the aid of the Lord, to the aid of the Lord against the mighty. So curse you, Meroz, we see. Some say it was a star, and some say he was a prominent person who was near the battle area and did not come. And then to the aid of the Lord, speaking as though it could be done, for he who aids Israel is as if he is aiding the divine presence. Which is probably the reason for the next verse. Blessed above women shall Yael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, be. Above women in the tents shall she be blessed. And the women in the tent is referring to Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Water he requested, but milk she gave him. In a lordly bowl she gave him cream. And we'll get into how he asks for water and uses the word hashkeni, which has the word cainite in it. I'm going to show you a word later that has to do with milk and nursing or suckling that shows up and has the word cainite in it backwards. So this will come in a later video, and I'll also do a video on all of the sources available in English on Meroz and Yael and all of the other cainites or mentions of cainites. So she gave him milk, and then some say to make him drowsy. She put forth her hand to the pin, and her right hand to strike the weary. She struck Sisera, pierced his head, and wounded and penetrated his temple. So she kills him. At her feet he sank, fell, lay. At her feet he sank and fell. Where he sank, there he fell down, dead. So this is the episode recounted, where she takes the tent pin to his head and slams it into his temple, and he's then stuck to the floor. So I'm just going to show you quickly the possible connection to Meroz and Yael and the Kenites, and a possible other clue is also kind of spacey and lends credence to this theory. So this is the first time we see, and it's the only use of this word, which is the cainites. See, it's the only time it comes up in the verse that we have referenced before, which is 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 55. And we see here the Beit Rechab, which is the house of Rechab, the house of the Rechabites. It's the Rechabites here. And then here we see Jabez. So these are the cainites. So this is the only time we see it used. So let's look at some matches for that number value, 215. Here are the first three, and this one is the sword that guards the way to the tree of life. But here's the same thing, which is the possible clue or some type of evidence or relationship, connection. Same word, the cainites, and it is a match. So the cainites is a match for the Nephilim, Nephilim here. So this is Genesis chapter 6, which is one of the most mysterious chapters in the Torah, in my opinion, and this is the same chapter where God instructs Noah to build an ark, and it has to do with these guys, the Nephilim and the B'nai Ha-Elakim, which in some sources refers to like the elite of human beings, the judges, the people who should know better, essentially, and the Nephilim. So the cainites is the same gematria as the Nephilim. And then we see, so little is known about those guys, little is known about, and they are mentioned as the fallen ones, and little is known about, but they're also giants in some sources. And the mighty we see over here, which is referenced above, or in that chapter 5 that we just read. So I just thought that was interesting. I've never heard anyone point that out before, that there could be a relationship there. And then the other match we see is the width that God is saying to Moses, like, this is how wide you will make it. This is like the width or the breadth of it. And I'm going to point out one more thing, because here we have so the cainites is a match for the width of the ark. I'm just going to show, and this is like something we'll talk about in the very next video. The construction, or every time this construction is used. So the cainites in the ark, this word here sounds very similar to, and has a very similar construction to, the word cainites. But it means the compartments in the ark. So make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. You shall make the ark with compartments. That's this word. And you shall caulk it both inside and outside with pitch. So this word here, which they're saying gopher, so wood, gopher, never comes up in the text again. And then this one sounds or looks similar to the word for cainites. And we'll explore other times where this construction is used. But we see it comes up here. So in a sense, it's the cainites are in the width of the ark, and then here in the compartments of the ark as well. So we'll get into that in the next video. Thank you.